Hello, and welcome to my channel. Recently, I have been obsessed with reading manga in any way, shape, or form, whether it's through a book, through the actual manga, or just through my phone. So I just wanted to draw some of my own manga panels, I guess, in my own way. I just wanted to see if I could, just using like black and white, make my own story, or simply just make a like like a frame, I guess, in the best way I could put it. I just wanted to tell my story through one, not my story, but tell a story through one drawing and see how well I could do that. So for this one, I really wanted to go to like a whole enemies to lovers type story. I just wanted to make it people are they obviously have something against each other, but they have to work together like for right now, and definitely want to make one depending on the other. And so I decided to make a cute little game, well, make the cute little game Twister. I'm not really making anything. So for this manga panel, I decided to add a background. I do not do it for the second one, mainly because the second one had a more of a feel to it, while this one's more of a scenic type difference. Um, as I'm starting to do the line art for it, I just wanted to make sure some things stood out and some things just really look better than others. The hardest thing for me to draw was the braid for the girl character in the background, mainly because I am terrible when it comes to drawing braids. If you ever look at any of my recent videos, it takes so long and I try so different techniques, and eventually I just go for the one that's like easiest or one that looks the closest to a braid. Not really proud of it, but I guess it just worked better compared to others. Now, probably one of the hardest things was the shading, more of just putting black wherever you think a shadow would be. Now, on the surface, it wouldn't sound that hard, but when you think about, how the colors are supposed to fit and how everything's supposed to look, you do end up wondering a lot of where something's supposed to go. One of the biggest things being, you know, the shadow on the twister board, because I didn't know how high above the character is supposed to be and how it's supposed to look from a shadow point of view. So I do it, and then I eventually end up going back and fixing it. You'll see it a whole lot later. But honestly, just shading a whole bunch of stuff where a shadow would potentially be. Now, for the sake of getting the art, I did not include any speech bubbles or text or a character saying anything. Of course, like I said, to preserve the art and just mainly make sure you're just focusing on what's happening, what for the characters. Like you see that they're playing a Twister game and he's thinking, and while she's getting upset, I just didn't want any speech bubbles. Of course, you can like imagine what they're saying, but I didn't want to put any speech bubbles or text like that. The thumbnail does have text, as you see, but I just didn't want to bring anything else to it. I just liked it like this. Overall, I actually had fun making like manga panels because, like I said, it was just different, experimenting with shading and just putting stuff how I really wanted it to be, unlike other things like adding backgrounds and stuff. I try to add backgrounds, but it can be pretty tricky with knowing how like things work in perspective and other stuff like that. So I just want to start off with something simple this time, and just honestly just put stuff how I really wanted it to go, and not really focusing on like coloring or shading or if something was shinier. Now for this second drawing, like I said before, there's no background because this is like if you ever watch anime, you see that it has a more like a I guess sunset type ish background where like the colors just hew into each other. That's why I was imagining for this. So it's mainly just focused on the characters and what they're feeling. Like one's feeling pure happiness while eating, while somebody's maybe like upset that they're eating or don't like the way that they're eating. Either one's fine. I just wanted to just put two opposite emotions on the exact same screen. So I don't know why for me, but I always have a habit of drawing utensils like really huge compared to how they are in real life. Like if you see the fork look way bigger, it looks more like a trident more esque. So to me, it just kind of makes this character seem really huge in comparison. So I wanted to put something small, like she's eating something, like the small kind of way, but not nothing to overdo it. I wanted to add a chair in the background, like she's sitting on it. Overall, I'm terrible with chairs. If you ever see any of my videos, I am really terrible with chairs. But as I'm just drawing it, I decided it would be cute to add little stars in the background to have let the characters have a little bit more freedom with what's happening. So in the end, I do that. As I'm doing line art, this is me realizing that I would have to do line art for each individual star. So as you see the stars that I'm doing, eventually you'll see that I slowly start to get worse and worse with tracing over them. I guess trace, line art, darkening, either one's fine. But my one thing I wanted to focus on was the swivels around the grumpy character's head. I really did like those, but I think the line art ruined them. I liked them in the sketch, basically. A whole lot better than what I actually got. So after I do each star, I decided to do the darkening, shading, and for this one, it's way more easier than my first one because there's not really a background to shade, it's just really the characters and what's the foreground. So I find myself, really just giving a whole bunch of shading wherever I could place it to make the character seem more interesting, more funnier, or to really just over exaggerate their behaviors. I mainly did this for the grumpy character, outlining their body, outlining everything that's happening with them, really showing that they're not happy with the character in the front. While the character in the front has lighter shading or less shading to show that they're more happy or they're more pleasant. I tried to make the shading really atone for their behaviors, but overall I could just do the best I could. Especially for like a small little panel art like this, I really had fun with it and just really tried my best. Alright, that's going to be it for my manga drawings. Have anything to say, please comment down below. And if you will see, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.